sites.
Hello, thank you for joining us here on Asian Pacific America. I'm Robert Honda, your host for this show on NBC Bay Area and Cozy TV. A little bit of everything on our program today, just like a cultural festival. We start with a tradition in the community and certainly in my family, the annual Nikkei Matsuri Festival coming up in San Jose's Japantown, a look at one of the South Bay's big cultural events. And we take another look at the art of bonsai through the eyes and skillful hands of the president of the San Jose Betsuan Bonsai Club. And we see more of an art form that is pleasing to the eye but more complex than you might think, ikebana, the art of Japanese flower arranging. And we continue our tradition here on Asian Pacific America by showcasing an artistic performance that gives us another way to see the depth of our community's culture, the shamisen, played by Kyle Abbott, coming up a little later on our show. Well, Nikkei Matsuri translates to Japanese American Festival, and that is exactly what it is. And in fact, the festival started in San Jose's Japantown during the bicentennial celebration, and I attended the first one. It has continued to grow and is an important part of the community and its cultural makeup. Joining me to talk about that history and what to expect at the festival this year is the Publicity and Public Relations Chairperson for the Nikkei Matsuri, Pam Yoshida. Pam, thanks for being here.
It's great to be here, Robert. Thank you.
Well, we talk a little bit about the historical tradition of the festival, etc. Give us an idea in terms of how it did start and what it's evolved into today.
Well, as you noted, it started as a City of San Jose response to the Japanese American community to do an ethnic festival for the U.S. bicentennial. And so it's continued since then. This is our 38th year.
I know you weren't really there remembering everything detail like it was going to be around forever, but what was the first kind of festival like compared to the way it is now?
Well, I think the first festival, the locations for the festivals changed. It's been at places like Valley Fair, the San Jose Tea Garden, but it's finally found a permanent home in San Jose Japantown, which is great because it's all about community.
That's right. What are going to be some of the features at this year's festival?
Well, some of the highlights will be, everything's a highlight, but, we start in the morning with the San Jose Taiko's morning stroll, which kind of wakes up Japantown. We've got entertainment on an outdoor stage. We've got an indoor stage, which features cultural performances. The cultural performances are things like judo demonstration, Japanese archery, tsugaru shamisen, koto and shakuhachi this year. Outdoor stage, we've got local entertainment like the local ukulele group. We've got the Chidori band, which plays Japanese music. We've got a children's dance group, and then we've got food. We've got traditional food like chicken teriyaki, sushi, udon, and non-traditional things like spam musubi. But we've got over 60 arts and craft vendors on the street. So there's a lot of things going on during Nikkei Matsuri, as well as a lot of exhibits inside the stage like ikebana, bonsai, kimekomi dolls, and suiseki rocks.
Now, we saw San Jose Taiko playing in the street and everything, and it seems so appropriate to me because the festival really is sort of a Japanese-American festival, right?
That is correct. So it's a little bit different from other festivals in that it really plays on, things that are Japanese traditionally, but things that have evolved into an American art form, like San Jose Taiko. So, Taiko is an important part of our festival because it starts off in the morning and then that's how we end the day.
One of the things that we've talked about a lot on our show is that, as we did recently too, which is that Japantowns, people think that they might be around all the time, endure forever, and yet they're quite vulnerable to disappearing, aren't they?
That's correct. We're very fortunate. San Jose Japantown is a working community. So we've got, we've got organizations, we've got businesses, and so Nikkei Matsuri is a great time to come down to Japantown just because you'll see organizations like UI Kai. They do a 5K run and health fair in the morning. Japanese American Museum will also be open that day for a children's fair. We've got the farmers market, which is always on Sunday, but they'll have extended hours on Nikkei Matsuri weekend.
One thing I noticed about the Nikkei Matsuri, which is something that you don't always see at festivals, is that you do get a lot of young people coming to the festival, whereas some festivals festivals, they tend to be the older generation people coming in, and you don't see as many young people. The Nikkei Matsuri is quite a bit different than that, huh?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we kind of nurture the festival by having a lot of nonprofits that do booths in the food area. So, you know, like groups like the Kendo group will bring a lot of their younger members to help out with the festival. So that's kind of how we perpetuate with all the nonprofits and other organizations that participate in Nikkei Matsuri. They'll bring, you know, their students too.
Can you keep expanding? You know, there's only so much room there.
Well, I don't know. The streets are pretty big, so, you know, we'll you know, fill up the streets.
What about in terms of maybe trying to attract people from out of the area? What would you want people who haven't been to a Nikkei Matsuri to think about?
Well, you know, we'd like them to, you know, just kind of think about, you know, what we're doing, which is, you know, perpetuating the culture and heritage of the Japanese American, you know, traditions.
Mm-hmm. Which are the exhibits you think that do that the most? What are the ones that you enjoy the most?
Well, the ones I enjoy the most are, you know, of course, the food, but the things that are,
That's an easy one.
Yeah, I know, inside the indoor, you know. And actually, all the components of Nikkei Matsuri do that. You know, inside the gym are mainly our cultural and traditional types of art forms. Outdoor, it's more of a contemporary expression, arts and crafts. You know, we've got 60 vendors from throughout the western United States, and those are all art forms with a Japanese or Asian American influence. So, you know, so all of these things working together perpetuate Nikkei Matsuri.
You know, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but is the San Jose Japantown, I know that there's been a lot of different kind of projects geared to kind of fortifying the businesses there and things like that. Is the San Jose Japantown on good solid footing, or is there still some concern there?
You know, I think so, because, you know, again, it's a working community. It's, you know, people that have been there, you know, from the beginning. We've got a lot of people that own property in the community, and they haven't sold to outside development. So, you know, I think as long as we keep that foothold in Japantown, you know, we'll be able to retain the character that it still has.
For people who have been coming real quickly, what's the biggest new event that you have going there?
At Nikkei Matsuri?
Yeah.
You know, I would say the new things are, you know, the basic components of Nikkei Matsuri are the same, but, you know, I would definitely check out the indoor stage with our entertainment. We have a Domo who will be doing Domo's the NHK mascot, and he'll be doing a photo booth. We've got an exhibit at the information booth with the Made Project, and it's a group from Japan that was, you know, that suffered from the tsunami earthquake, and they'll be selling arts and crafts there.
Very good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Again, it is a place and an event that kind of needs to be nurtured, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, the 38th annual Nikkei Matsuri will take place Sunday, April 26th in San Jose's Japantown, mainly around the 5th and Jackson area, and you can get more information on the Nikkei Matsuri website. And the featured attractions at the Nikkei Matsuri, the art and history of bonsai, coming up next.